Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our webinar series. My name is Alade Modupe, and I'm the Program Planning Director for O4's Charity. Now, for the benefits of those that are not our members, I would like to introduce O4's Charity to you. O4's Charity is a not-for-profit organization that was founded like 5 years ago by a Nigerian based abroad, Lola Adegoke. Lola Adegoke, shout out to you. So for today, O4's Charity has about 4 pillars, which is health, education, sustainability, and social injustice. So for today, to kick off our webinar series, we'll be starting with one of our pillars, which is health, actually an aspect of health, which is mental health. So our topic for today is maintaining mental health stability amidst COVID-19 now and beyond. And for this, we have collaborated with another not-for-profit organization called Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative, MANI. So our guest speaker today is from MANI, and her name is Ene Ayegba. So before I introduce the guest speaker to us, I would like to speak more on the reason for we choosing this topic. As we are all aware, health is a vital aspect. And mental health, as defined, health as defined by World Health Organization is the well-being of our mental, social, physical, and emotional well-being. But it's quite unfortunate that as Nigerians, we do not pay attention to our mental health, which is why we are bringing to your doorstep today how to maintain your how to properly maintain your mental health. So with me, I have Ene Ayegba as our speaker. Now, Ene Ayegba is a psychologist trained from Obafemi Awolowo University, and she's committed to educating many people as possible about the importance of their mental health. Now, she does this through research and through volunteer work with MANI. And she believes that without mental health, that there is no health without mental health, and she has continued to push this narrative through different platforms, one of which is Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative. So I would call upon the guest speaker now to start with our lecture. Thank you very much. Ene Ayegba, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Rashida, can you hear me? Hi.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. And I think their speakers are muted, so I think you can go on.
I need to share my screen, and I don't think I can because it was...
You can. Just click on the share. I believe you can.
It's saying host disabled participants screen sharing.
No, the host should have enabled you to be able to share your screen with everyone.
Okay.
Can you do that now?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, she can share her screen now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. So today we'll be talking about how we can maintain mental health stability amidst COVID-19 now and beyond. So let's start. So this is our outline. We have introduction, what mental health is, oops, it's a pandemic, normal responses to a pandemic, coping strategies, the ultimate self-care guide, what next, and then conclusion. So let's begin with the introduction. So really, what is mental health? We listen every time to people talk about mental health. We hear mental health being used every time, like in social media spaces and a lot of conversations. So now, what is mental health? According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Now, what that means is a person realizes what they are capable of. Okay, I can do this. If I weigh 50 kg and I'm trying to carry something that weighs over 150 kg, that's I know that I can't do. I don't know that I can't do that. So if I try that, it means that something is wrong and I'm not mentally healthy. So knowing what you can do, knowing that, okay, these are my limits. This is what I can do at this time, and this is what I cannot handle. This is one characteristic of a mentally healthy person. Another characteristic is being able to cope with normal stresses of life. Now, normal stresses of life, I mean the things that happen in our daily lives. For instance, going to work every day, making dinner, handling a relationship. These are normal stresses of life that come no matter what. It comes to everybody at some point in life. So being able to cope with these normal stresses of life is another characteristic of a mentally healthy person. Also, a mentally healthy person can work productively and fruitfully. If I give you a task and you are able to turn it in with results, it means that you are working productively, and that is one characteristic of a mentally healthy person. Also, a mentally healthy person is able to make a contribution to their community. So it's not just about taking and taking and taking. A mentally healthy person should be able to contribute meaningfully to whatever society that they find themselves in. Now, over time, you realize that sometimes you just feel, okay, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm down, I feel really, down today. These are normal stresses. They are mental stresses that happen to everybody. And it's okay to feel down. It doesn't mean that when you are down, you have a mental illness. No, it means that, okay, at this point, you are just really overwhelmed with a particular task and you need to just take some time out. So you need to realize what it is that is making you feel this way. And you can take out time to talk with a trusted friend. You can seek help through counseling, or you can just take out time to rest. Sometimes when we are stressed, we just need to rest. Now, let's move on to the next slide. So now, it's coronavirus. It's so strange. Nobody knows anything about it. And then it just came all of a sudden and we're all really confused. So the thing is, right now, everybody's trying to adjust to what is going on. Countries are confused, organizations are confused. Everybody is really trying their best to cope as much as they can. So whenever you feel like, oh, I don't know how to handle this, or oh, what's going on? How, or what's next? What's going to happen from now? So you just need to realize that you're not alone in this, and a lot of other people are trying to, come to understand. If it makes you feel any better, over 7 billion people are in the same situation, and everybody's all trying to come to the realization of what is going on. But with time, I feel like everybody's going to try to, come to a middle ground to understand how these things really affect us. But for now, it's just really a strange time, and we need to take our time to understand what we are feeling and how we can help ourselves through. So now, normal responses to a pandemic. The whole world is facing a different era right now, and right now there are increased bouts of anxiety, there's tension, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next tomorrow, what's going on now, how will I cope? These are anxious thoughts that come to us at some point or the other in this era, and it is normal. Really, it is very normal because, as I said before, this is a strange time. And I also want to talk about good anxiety. I said before that anxious thoughts come, to us, especially in this kind of period. But there is also good anxiety. Good anxiety in the sense that, okay, you have an exam tomorrow and then you're anxious about the exam because you know that you cannot fail that exam. So that anxiety pushes you to study. So that is good anxiety. Or for instance, you want to propose to someone and then you feel anxious about the proposal. It's good anxiety because you're taking a major step in your life and then you feel like, okay, this is something I should really take seriously. So good anxiety is, everybody has anxiety at different points. life, you experience anxiety. And anxiety can be very good in helping you achieve your goals. But when it begins to interfere with your daily functioning, when you cannot function because you are really anxious, for instance, you have an examination and then you are sweating so profusely that you cannot write, or your heart is beating so fast that you cannot concentrate, then it shows that there is something wrong. This is not just normal anxiety. Same goes with tension, pressure, and sadness. Sometimes you just feel really tense or sad about something that has happened. If it begins to interfere with your daily functioning, that's when it becomes a problem. But really, all these responses are normal. It's normal to feel tired. It's normal to, be tired and just, be frustrated with what's going on, because you can't do anything, so you feel powerless. And then in this period, past traumas can be triggered or re-experienced, because right now many people are at home, and then they're at home with maybe abusers or parents who they are not in a good relationship with, or they're just reminded of the things that they used to want to escape from. So these experiences or these feelings that we have are just normal feelings. And I want you to understand that in this time, when you feel like this, it is normal to feel like this. So don't start feeling like, oh, something is wrong with me, something is not right, I feel like I'm going crazy or something of that sort. These are just normal responses. It's a coping mechanism that your mind is trying to project in this situation. So, as I said before, do not panic. It's going to be okay. If it's any consolation, a lot of other people are also in this situation, and as much as possible, we're all trying to find ways to cope. So, from time to time, you need to take time out to tell yourself how amazing you are doing, because to be honest, it's really not easy to cope through the situations that come to us every day as young people or whatever age range you are in. It's really not easy coping with the daily stresses of life. It's really not easy, doing the things that you do. And it's okay to take out time to tell yourself how amazing you are doing. Sometimes you just, focus on the negative parts that we experience. We focus on the things that are going wrong for us. And we forget that even when those things are going wrong, there are still good things that are happening to us. So it's necessary to take out time to appreciate these good things that are happening, and then pat yourself on the back, tell yourself that you're doing really good, and then proceed to the next task. Now, coping strategies. Now, this period, as I said before, is really strange. And then to be able to cope, we need to put up some strategies that will help us combat any kind of, negative feelings that we might be having. So the first thing I would advise is to accept that you cannot control everything. Sometimes you know you can control some things. You know that, okay, I want to wear this to work today. I want to eat this for dinner today. I want to see this person today. Those are the things you can control. But you cannot control a pandemic. You cannot tell coronavirus not to come to Nigeria or not to come to a particular state. There are some things that are just beyond your control. And you need to accept that. Fine, human beings, we like to stay in control of our lives and our situations, but we have to accept that this virus does not really care about us, and then it's really just out to disrupt all our plans and everything. So we need to accept that we cannot control this, no matter what we do. What we can control is our reaction to it. So instead of getting frustrated over the situation and over the fact that you cannot control the situation, you can control your reaction by doing some other things I'm going to explain in a short while. So you also need to learn what triggers your anxiety and understand how you coped in the past. Now, as I mentioned before, it's really normal to be anxious in times like this, because this is a strange time, as I said before, and then you are just worried. Okay, will I be out of a job in 3 months? Will I still have money in the next 2 months? How do I cope? How do I transition from a 9 to 5 to working from home? How do I use Zoom every day? It's consuming my data. How do I do this and do that? And then there are a lot of anxious thoughts coming to your head. How do you cope? Now, in the past, before now, we've all had anxiety. I said before that everybody experiences anxiety. Now, it's always a good idea to go back to how you used to feel. Like, remember the anxious thoughts you used to have in the past. How did you cope with those periods of anxiety? What were the things that you did? Okay, when I was in school, how did you cope with writing examination? And now that you have a test coming up, how are you going to cope with that? Or you remember something, your first flight, how did you cope with that anxiety? Can I apply it to how I'm feeling right now? So it's kind of like using your own past question for yourself, because now you already understand yourself. I'm hoping that, or I'm saying this with the belief that you understand your reactions to situations. So you understand how you coped before, and then you're trying to apply it to your present situation. It really helps. And then reduce your news intake. Honestly, there's a lot of bad vibes everywhere in social media space. There are a lot of bad news, and sometimes it just gets overwhelming, to be honest. If it's not one bad news today, it's another bad news tomorrow, and it's easy to get overwhelmed because there's a lot. You're just taking a lot of things in, and most of the time we don't even take it out. We don't even put it back out. There's no outlets for these emotions when they come to us. You just see a gory picture on Twitter, and then you're like, oh my God, who is this person? And then you go to Instagram and you see that someone else is doing something wrong, and then you're wondering what kind of world is this? And then you're just saying it in your mind because, of course, you don't want to go and start explaining the gory picture you saw to someone else. So all these things, you're taking it in, and it gets to a point where you suddenly just start feeling overwhelmed because, there is no outlet for all these things you're consuming. So it's a great idea to reduce your news intake. Take it easy on yourself. You don't have to be on social media space all the time. You can even unfollow some of all these pages that talk about news and just, go there once in a while to just check for updates. Then connect with your family and friends. We human beings, we are social beings. We love to connect with people. We love to, be around people. It's a great idea to always connect. Now, fine, we are trying to practice social distancing. We're trying to, be safe and all of that. But it's always great to connect with friends, talk to friends every day, video calls. Okay, maybe not every day, but as much as you can. Video calls, chat, send memes, send messages, connect with people, because in the end, it's your support system that really helps you through this kind of situation, because it gets overwhelming. To be honest, it gets overwhelming. So when you connect with people, it really helps you. It's okay, for instance, if you have friends and then you saw a picture on Twitter that is really making you feel bad, you could just reach out to them and say, oh, I just saw this picture and I really feel bad about it. And then they will just cheer you up or say something funny, and then you move on. But when you just stay in your own corner and then you are not connecting with anybody, it just gets tiring for you. It gets overwhelming. So it's great to connect with friends and family. And some people will now say, oh, I don't have friends. I have difficulty making friends and all of that. Trust me, you don't have to share your life secrets with someone before they become your friend. It's a step-by-step process, and with baby steps, I'm sure you'll find someone who understands you and who you can vibe with. Now, create a routine. I'm really going to talk about routine because it feels like a lot of us have abandoned our routines, and it's really telling on us, because before now, you go to school, you're on campus, you go to school in the morning, come back, do assignments, go for group discussions, sleep, or you go to work in the morning, come back in the evening, make dinner, sleep. But now it's like everything has changed. There's no more routine. You wake up like 10 a.m., you don't even know what you're doing anymore. It's like, okay, I have my bath like 2 p.m. or something. So there is really no routine. And then it just makes the days go by so slowly, and you just feel so lethargic and tired. It's just really tiring. So it's great if you have a routine. Now, you have a routine in the sense that it creates a semblance of what you used to have. So you're creating your own new normal. Fine, we're in a situation that is terrible and everything. Fine, yes, we understand that. But it's great to have a routine. It's great to understand what makes you feel alive. Now, if you know that, okay, I wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, I have my bath, I make breakfast. There's joy that you derive in doing these things. The next day when you wake up, you've already prepared a routine for the next day, and then it keeps going on and on and on like that. And then you realize that the days are not as slow as you thought they were, and then you just find yourself getting into the rhythm of things. It's not going to be easy because you are still transitioning from what used to be to what it is now. So, but baby steps all the time. Whenever you see any of these coping strategies, they are really just baby steps combined. Every day you take a step, every day you take a step, and then before you know it, you are getting into the full swing of things. Now, another thing is to set short-term goals. Now, I said before, things have changed. Yes, we know that. But you need to set short-term goals. You can't just, be going with the flow. Okay, and you wake up in the morning and maybe your friend texts you and says, oh, what's up for today? I say, I don't even know anything. It shall happen, anything. We shall go with the flow. That's really not advisable because before you know what's happening, you get tired easily, and then you just start saying, oh my God, when is it going to be over? I'm really tired of all this and everything. It's great to have short-term goals. Now, these goals don't have to be as mighty as going to the White House or collecting the Nobel Prize or doing something really, really big. It can be as little as taking a French class online. It can be as little as just set a short-term goal, finishing a book. Now, I mean short-term goals. I don't mean goals that take like 1 year or 5 years. I mean goals that you can easily accomplish, you can easily achieve. For instance, let's say, okay, I want to set a short-term goal. I could say, okay, I want to finish this book. But I know that if I say I want to finish this book in a week, I might actually not. The probability of finishing the book is just somehow, I might not achieve that goal. But if I say, okay, I want to finish 2 chapters of this book in 2 days, I read 1 chapter a day. That's pretty short and simple. And honestly, you'll be able to achieve it. And the importance of setting short-term goals is that once you set a short-term goal and you achieve it, the possibilities are endless because if I read a chapter today, I'm motivated. I want to know what happens in the next chapter. And then I cannot wait for the next chapter to come. And then I read it and I read the other one. And before you know what's happening, the 1 week will come and go and you are done with the book and you move on to the next. Before you know, you start telling your friends that, I read 52 books in 1 year. Oh, it's easy. It's very easy like that. So really, it's short-term goals motivate you to do better. So instead of saying, this year I want to read 52 books, this year I want to travel to 10 countries, this year I want to go to the White House, you could say, okay, this year or this week I want to read this book. Today I want to read 1 chapter of this book. Tomorrow I want to read the 2nd chapter. So this helps you stay motivated. This keeps you on top of your game because it helps you, realize what you want to do. You feel fulfilled. You know that feeling of finishing a book or finishing a course online. Now, there was this meme I saw on Twitter where they said people that finish online courses deserve some place in heaven or something like that. I don't really remember, but it was something of that nature. And then these things are just really goals, short-term goals. Okay, I want to watch this video today. I want to take this class today, 10 minutes of this class tomorrow. When you set goals like that, you realize that these things are actually possible. They are attainable. It's just that most of the time, because we don't have goals, we cannot really achieve them. And then a good way to, achieve these goals also is to ask your family members and friends to hold you accountable to them. Now, if you want to learn French or you want to read a book and then nobody reminds you, you might remember on your own, but the fact that you're not accountable to anyone because it's just your own goal. So you just feel like, if I do it, I'll do it tomorrow. But when you are accountable to someone, it's easier to do it because you don't want to feel like you are the one, maybe you're doing the course with someone and then the person is always on your neck. Okay, Ada, have you done this course? Have you taken this? Have you watched this video today? Or have you taken this chapter today? Or did you see what this person said on the group? Things like that help a lot. So you could inform your friends, you could tell your family, tell them, okay, I'm taking this course. Could you please remind me? It will really help to to motivate you to finish those tasks. Now, another tip is self-care. Now, self-care is best care. When I mean self-care, I don't mean, I don't mean something grand. Self-care could be as little as just resting, taking 30 minutes out, no social media, nobody with you. Take your time out for yourself to just lie down on your bed and just rest. You might not be sleeping, you're just resting, floating, you're just allowing yourself feel whatever you're feeling at that moment. Self-care is you taking time out for yourself. Now, with everywhere, social distance and everything, you can't really go out, we can't really do the things that we want to do, but there's little things that we can do. We can Netflix and chill, we can, have a Zoom party with your friends, you can just have a facial, you don't have to do anything grand, you can even use aloe vera, just something that you can just do on your own, taking care of yourself, for yourself. It's a great idea, especially in these times where everybody is so confused and tired. It's always good to take time out to care for yourself. Now, the ultimate self-care guide, there are different things that you can do that would help you, that will make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that will help you through your self-care routine. And then you could sleep for the physical aspect of the self-care. Good sleep. Now, most of us, I'm also guilty of this. Sometimes maybe we have to work or we have to see a movie that is trending or something, and then you realize that you're not even sleeping as much as you should. You're sleeping like 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours. Sometimes you don't even sleep at all. Before you realize, that, it's morning again. So now you have to ensure that you sleep adequately. It helps you rest. It helps you, feel better for the next day. It reduces the tiredness that you feel the next day. It even makes you perform better. Sleep enhances your performance a lot, because when you rest, you can, recover your thoughts. You'll be more motivated. You're motivated enough to take on new tasks. Now, nutrition. You should eat more, foods that are healthy, that will help you, maintain good health. So if you are eating, make sure that you're not eating too much and you're not eating too little, because now we are at home. Before, when we used to go to work or we used to go to school, we used to eat 5 times a day. But now, because we're at home and the kitchen is just really close to our room, we can just stand up, take breakfast, take post-breakfast, take pre-lunch, post-lunch, and stuff like that. But it's always good to, have a should I call it a schedule for eating? What you normally eat when you go to work or school, it's also great if you can apply it to, your day-to-day activities now. So, and then sometimes too, before you realize it, you've stayed all day in bed. As funny as that might sound, it's really true. You just wake up in the morning, pick up your laptop or your book, and then you start maybe working or studying, and before you know what's happening, you've stayed on the bed till 4 p.m. And before you know what's happening, you're still there. So it's always great to stand up, take a walk. You could go around your compound. You could just take a walk around. It's good for the body. Now, practical self-care guide, do chores, organize your wardrobe, organize your house, ensure that you're practicing safe. You're choosing safe practices and you're staying secure, because now we have to be safe, always safe. Make sure you're with your face masks, you're practicing social distancing, and you're sanitizing always. So it's always great to do the practical things. And then I talked about support system earlier. We need to always ensure that our support system stays strong, because before you know it, you wouldn't even know when it's happening, because sometimes we just get so overwhelmed. But it's always great to have support systems. And then, fine, we need support systems, but we also need boundaries, in the sense that you establish healthy boundaries between you and the next person. Even if this person is your friend, you know that, okay, there are some things that there are some lines I cannot cross. There are some things I cannot do when it comes to interactions with this person. Now, these healthy boundaries help you to maintain your relationships. It helps you to keep yourself on the level where you want to be. So it's just really great to maintain, these healthy boundaries in your support systems. And then understand your emotions. You are feeling some kind of way. It's great to take out time. Understand, why am I feeling this way? What could be responsible for how I'm feeling? It's always great to write it out. Sometimes you wouldn't even know that it's this particular thing that is making you feel this way until you write it out. Okay, someone said this to me on Monday that really struck me, and I think I'm feeling like this because of that. Or I lost some money yesterday, and I think I'm not over it yet. Or this person said this to me, this person did this to me, or at work I felt like this. When you make a list of things like that, it's easy to pinpoint what it is exactly that is making you feel bad. So understand your emotions. If you're happy, okay, why am I happy? What did this person do to make me happy? Okay, fine, that means I like this and I don't like that. Now, when you understand your emotions, it's easier to express them. Because now, when someone is, when you're angry with someone, the person starts asking you, okay, what's making you angry? If you don't understand the situation, you cannot even pinpoint what's making you angry. Or you're sad about something, and someone is saying, what's wrong with you? Say, I don't even know, because you don't even understand the situation at that point. So you cannot actually, address the hurt. You cannot address the pain. So when you take out time to understand what you're feeling, if you cannot understand it yourself, it's always great to share with other people. That's where your support system comes in. When you don't understand your emotions, when you don't understand how you feel, it's great to share, okay, I'm feeling like this. Could you help? And I'm sure that your support system will love you enough to provide you with enough help. And then when you understand your emotions, okay, I feel sad because this didn't work out. Okay, so how can I treat that? How can I address that? Okay, it didn't work out. So what's the next step? Do I give up on it, or do I try again? Or do I seek help? What do I need to do to move forward in this situation? Now, it helps to always address your issues, express your emotions. Immediately it happens. Okay, fine, maybe not immediately it happens because you're in the heat of the moment, but it's great to take time out to understand how you feel and then always express them. I talked about how we always internalize things. When we look at the news, we see that things are happening, and then we just always keep it in. We keep it in. Same thing happens to us in our relationships, in our day-to-day activities. Things happen to us. Instead of us to express it, we just say, I will not talk about it. Let me just, it's past. We move. That's what we always say, we move. It will be fine, we move. But we're not moving anywhere because these things always come back to haunt us. So it's always great to express your emotions. If someone does something to you that you do not like, express it. Oh, I'm sorry, what you did to me today, it didn't really sit down. It didn't sit well with me. Could you please not do it again? Fine, simple. If the person continues to do that, it's great to, it's okay to avoid them. It's okay to create space between you and them, because it means that they don't care about your mental health. They don't care about how you're feeling. They just want to keep doing what they are doing. Now, this is also a great time to take time out for yourself. I said before that it's good to practice self-care. Take out time for yourself. Understand your core values. This is the time to know what the things that excite you, what they are. Because this is the time that you have for yourself. You know that, okay, maybe you don't work as much as you used to work, or you're not even going to school because everything now is just on hold. So this is a time to explore your emotions, explore the things that make you tick. Okay, the things that actually make you feel happy. Okay, when I do this, I'm happy. I realize that, okay, I like this particular genre of books or genre of song. Try new things out. Okay, listen to new songs, read new writers, listen to new things, chart new territories, know what it is that makes you happy, know what it is that makes you sad. Take time to be alone, explore your hobbies, because these are the things that help you understand yourself. All these things make up your identity. They make you self-aware. And self-awareness is the trick. It does the trick all the time. Because when you're aware of yourself, you know how you are feeling at every given time. You know that, okay, today I feel like this. Why do I feel like this? Because this happened. Tomorrow I felt like that because this happened. Self-awareness is key at all times. And the only way you can be self-aware is when you take out time to understand yourself, understand your core values, understand who you are when nobody else is there, understand everything about yourself. And it's a long process. It's not something that just happens when you sleep and wake up. No, it takes time. And now that everything is like this, it's a great time to, take out time to practice some introspection. Now, it's also good to learn new things at this time. There are a lot of things to learn. There is so much in the social media space, YouTube videos. I know friends of mine that are learning coding. Someone is even learning Chinese, and it's really fun because this is a great time to learn new things as much as you can. Connect with your online learning platforms. Even if it's a new game that you learn how to play, it's something. Just make sure that you are not just staying in one place and not doing anything with your time. So what's next? COVID-19, everywhere COVID-19, COVID-19. Okay, after COVID-19, what's the next thing? After now, is there a world post-corona? Because at a point this year, someone asked me, well, how am I going to, how are we going to cope with this situation and everything? And I told the person, we have to believe that the post-corona world out there. I said something along those lines. I can't really remember right now, but I said something along the lines of, we have to believe that there is a post-COVID-19 world coming. But right now, it looks like there's no post-COVID-19 world. So I'm thinking, what next? Is it going to be, this is the new state of things and we just keep adjusting and adjusting until it becomes the new normal? Or is there going to be a way that, things come back to what they used to be? The people start doing the things they used to do before? Honestly, we cannot answer that question right now because we have to keep hoping that they find a cure that, actually cures, and then they find, a solution to this problem. So what's next after now? Now, I need us to understand that there's no complete health without mental health. And it's so funny when someone complains that, oh, I'm feeling sad, or I've been sad for a couple of days, and person says, and someone else says, shall you go and pray? Maybe something is happening to you in the spirit world, or maybe they'll tell you, maybe it's because you are broke, or maybe they'll tell you something along the lines, or maybe someone broke your heart, or something like that, because they just attribute, mental problems to things that they are not real. It's something that you just sleep and wake up and everything will be fine. But really, it isn't. There is no health without mental health. There is no complete. In fact, if you are saying someone is healthy and then the person is not mentally healthy, that person is not really healthy. It's sad that a broken bone will attract more attention than someone complaining of, feeling depressed. But this is the world that we live in. It's just so great that people are coming up right now to understand what mental health is and trying to take steps to, mitigate this whole ignorance about the whole situation. But I need you to understand that there is no health without mental health. There is the combination of mental health and physical health is what makes you a healthy person. Now, as much as you take vitamins every day, you go to the hospital for checkups, check your BP, you check your blood sugar level, it's also a great idea to check your mental health. Now, most people will say, oh, there is this stigma attached to mental health. Now, this stigmatization will only go away when you and I try as much as possible to take the right steps. Educate people about how important mental health is. And then yourself, you need to take the steps that are necessary to also establish your own mental health. I've explained before how these coping strategies can help you survive COVID-19, survive the way you feel during COVID-19, this COVID-19 era. But if there needs to be a world post-corona, those coping strategies still apply. But we need to still understand that we cannot continue doing things the old way. Things have changed, whether or not we accept it, or whether or not we want to accept it, things have really changed. Because now companies have realized that they don't have to be at work every day. So even if they say tomorrow that there's no more COVID-19, I'm sure some companies will still not want to go back to their usual schedule. You see that right now, schools understand the importance of online, classes. So everything has changed. Relationships have changed. People now understand things better or not, but things have really changed. So you have to remember that, fine, mental health is a big aspect of health that we need to take into consideration every single time. It will remain even after COVID-19 ends. COVID-19 might end, but mental health will not end. It remains. And then you have to learn to protect your normal. Protecting your normal means that, okay, this is what it is for me. This is how I feel. This is how I want to feel. You have to protect that feeling. You know, it also goes along with creating safe spaces for yourself. Now, a lot of things are happening in the social media space, in the real world. Plenty things. Every day there's a new story on the gram. Every day there's something new. Today, it is what it is. But you need to create safe spaces for yourself. You need to understand that, oh, this is where I feel the safest. It is with this person that I feel the happiest. It is with this person that I feel like I'm worth it. It's with this person that I feel really great. You have to understand that these safe spaces these are things that need to save you. For instance, if you realize that, oh, talking to this person makes you feel anxious. Anytime I talk to this person, I always feel like, I've never even achieved anything in this life. What am I living for? Or whenever I go to this place, I always feel like there's a sudden wave of sadness that comes over me. You need to understand these things are not safe for you. But then you realize that, oh, whenever I talk to this my friend, we laugh all the time. Whenever I talk to this my friend, she helps me become a better person. Whenever I go to this place, I feel really happy. These are safe spaces, and you need to protect your normal, protect your safe spaces, protect the things that make you feel happy. Anytime you feel like something is happening, something is, jeopardizing this safety that you feel, you need to learn how to, run, take yourself away from those situations, remove yourself from those situations, because it's not helping you in any form, it's not helping you in any way. And then you need to understand that sometimes, it feels difficult. It is difficult, honestly, it is. But step by step, I've said it before, there is none of these steps, none of these stages makes it easier. None of these things happen in one day. None of these things just happen. None of these things are by magic. These things are really, steps. It takes time to occur. They take time to come to place. It doesn't just happen. It happens through baby steps. Take baby steps all the time. Fine, you feel like, okay, you try today and it doesn't work out. Try tomorrow. It doesn't work out. Keep trying, because fine, if you don't try, then it means that you're not embracing the fact that a change is possible. But there is actually a possibility for change. So you need to understand that by putting more effort into trying. And really, when you feel some kind of way, you feel like, oh, this is not usual for me, it's fine to seek help. It's fine to talk to a counselor. It's fine to talk to someone. It's time to, if you break a bone today, nobody needs to tell you, go to the hospital. But it's always so, it's alarming when someone is feeling some way mentally and the person just stays and then doesn't want to do anything. It's just really alarming. But we need to remove this stigma. It takes you and I to destigmatize everything. It takes you and I to actually move from this situation that we are in right now. When you feel bad, when a friend feels bad, don't hesitate to tell the friend to seek help. When the friend tells you, what people say doesn't really matter when you don't feel well, because it has never even mattered at all. But at that point, it doesn't even matter in any way. So you should always do the things that serve you, do the things that make you feel happy, do the things that make you feel like you are actually, doing something right for yourself. So as much as we don't want to agree to this, 1 in 4 people in the world will be affected by mental or neurological disorders at some point in their lives. It's a proven fact. So the sooner we begin to accept that mental health issues are more prevalent than we think they are, the sooner everybody begins to seek help. So when someone begins to tell you that, oh, okay, this is not necessary now, maybe it's just to pray and everything will go away, or maybe it's just to know, remind the person that everybody is at risk of having some kind of mental disorder. Just as everybody can get malaria, anybody can fall ill. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness at all. So it's always a great idea to seek help. Now, it's okay not to be okay, to not be okay. You can contact Mentally Aware on Instagram, Twitter. You can call us on anytime, and we are assuring you of prompt help and attention. So thank you very much for listening to this. I hope you learned a lot.
Well, thank you very, very much. And that was a wonderful presentation. Thank you very, very much. And that was a wonderful presentation. All right. So there are a few questions that I myself would like to ask. And meanwhile, if you're still listening in and if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. Kindly drop the question in my chat box so I can help you ask the speaker. So now, talking about identity, I believe so much in having a defined identity for yourself. Like, what have you identified yourself as? But most Nigerians, like, we are so, would I say, oblivious of mental health. Like, we don't really pay much attention to mental health. But I believe that you have to set an identity for yourself. Like, no, who are you? Like, when you sit down alone in your room, like, how would you define yourself to other people and to yourself? So talking about this, how do you feel youth, most especially in Nigeria, can begin to do this? Like, do you think there is anything that can be done in this regard? And also, for this coronavirus pandemic, I remember during March, I was going from preparing for two of my best friends' wedding. Like, I had so many plans. I was going for this, I was going for that, and then all of a sudden, coronavirus just came and everything was just put on hold. Like, I'm still struggling within myself to, okay, so who is this new me? Like, what am I doing presently? Do you understand? Like, who is this new me and everything? So do you think, like, how can we now strike a balance for those that have their identity? For those that know their identity, how can we strike a balance between our former identity and this our new identity? Because I believe everything has changed and it will continue to change.
Sure. Okay. Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about the first question. The first question was about how youths can create their own identity. Well, I said before that. Okay. Now, time alone, taking time out for yourself is really important. Fine, there are a lot of things going on. You have work, you have school, you have things to do. But it's really important that you take time out for yourself. Take time out to understand yourself. We don't always do this. And I think it's really, this is what is at the root of our problems. Sometimes it's always just a great idea to just chill. Like, okay, chill. What am I feeling? How am I feeling? What makes me happy? What doesn't make me happy? These things help you because next time you'll be able to, okay, this is what happened the last time. This is how I handled it. Let me now handle the situation like this. It helps you. Another point I think is really helpful is young people, we like to idolize other people a lot. Like, okay, there's a celebrity that I like, or there's this person's life that is really looking good. Like, I really want to be like this person. I really want to feel like this. Sometimes it's not really helpful to us because you say, oh, these are my role models. These are people that I look up to. But most of the time, it doesn't help you realize yourself. It doesn't help you, I don't think I'm putting this well. It doesn't help you understand. Fine, it's good to have role models. It's good to have people that you really look up to. But when you look up to them and then you lose sight of yourself, Jonathan, okay. It helps, it takes you away from the person that you really are. So it's always great to don't idolize anybody. Always seek to be a better version of yourself. Don't aim for perfection. Don't aim to be the best. Don't aim to be perfect rather, but just aim to be the best version of yourself. Any version of yourself that you are seeing now that you feel like, oh, okay, I think I can work harder to become better. I can work harder to become better than this. It's always great to, try your best to be better. Now, your identity comes when you are aware of yourself. I said before, take time out to be aware of yourself. Know the things that you like. These things don't just come. It doesn't just drop on your head. Oh, okay, Rashida, this is your identity. Onojoko, this is your identity. No, it doesn't just drop like that. It comes through, introspection. Take time out. Realize the things that you like, things that you don't like. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like that. These are the things that make you who you are. Makes you self-aware. And then for all of the people that already have identities, and then this time the trying period, now there is something I'll just tell you. The world is evolving, the world is changing. You have to evolve as well. I don't mean lose your identity. I don't mean lose sight of yourself. Remember that you have core values, you have the things that you already understand about yourself. You know yourself already for the years that you've taken time out to understand yourself and have your identity. But you also need to understand that things are changing, yeah? And then you can't say, oh, no, I'm not going to change. This is how I am. This is what I am. I am who I am. I'm not going to stop. No, it doesn't help in any way. You have to learn to be flexible. Fine, things are happening that you don't understand. Things are changing. Try as much as you can to change. Don't change yourself, but allow yourself space to grow. Allow yourself space to understand the new things that are happening around you. Don't be so stuck. Do you understand? Don't be so stuck in who you are. Don't say, oh, this is what I am. This is I'm never changing. I am a honest person that knows right from wrong and will never change. Don't say that. It doesn't create room for change. It doesn't create room for growth. So always be open to growth. It's a great thing. It's a really great thing. So I think those are the two questions that you asked.
All right, thank you very much, Ene. But there is one last one. I'm very sorry. Okay, talking about this COVID-19 pandemic, I myself, as a frontline health worker, I've had a lot of experiences with people, breaking the news to them that, oh, you are positive to COVID-19 and all that. So I think, would I say their perception, like the way some people take it, like I actually read it in the news like some weeks ago, whereby they broke the news to the wife that her husband had COVID-19, and then she collapsed and they just fainted. Just yesterday, my colleague was talking to somebody, to a young man who was positive to COVID-19, and when we broke the news to him, the next minute he called my colleague. Like, my colleague actually had to spend like good 1 hour talking to this person, 1 hour, and he told my colleague that I want to commit suicide because he has COVID-19. Like, this is something very real that I actually experienced. So now, looking at the way the world is, looking at the current situation, I mean, even the global situation, there is no guarantee that a cure is going to come in anytime soon. And even the WHO has alerted us that we need to start preparing our mind, to live with COVID-19 for a really long period of time. So how do you think, I mean, most people have not gone for their COVID-19 test, but if they do, they might actually come out positive, because now we have a lot of asymptomatic cases. Like, people are doing fine, they are talking well and all that, but yes, they are positive. So do you think that we need to set the reality about this COVID-19 to be able to get the best version of ourselves? Like, do we need to prepare our mental health differently? Like, I don't know, but is there something we can do differently so that we can be able to adjust with this time?
Okay. The thing is, as you said before, nobody has, gone through this before. The best we can do is to put all these coping strategies I already mentioned earlier in place. You understand that this thing that is happening, you cannot change it. If you are going to, interact with someone that is positive for COVID-19 and eventually we get it, we only have to remain positive and hope that we'll all be fine. But we can't control it. And I think that's what's making everybody, sad and frustrated, because even if you try your best to maintain social distancing, it just takes one person to be exposed to someone else that you are exposed to, and all of a sudden you are testing positive to COVID-19. Fine, you can't control that. What we can do is to remain hopeful. Remind people not to panic around you. Try to tell them that it's not the end of the world. HIV/AIDS, it came, people adjusted to it. This is going to pass too. People are going to adjust to this as well. It's just that it's novel. So I'm sure that when HIV/AIDS started in those days, this was how a lot of people too were, panicking and everything. But now it's like, okay, people have adjusted. We've adjusted to it. There's a way now that people can even get married, have children without children being positive. So we have to always stay hopeful. Now, hope is something that would help us, because we hope that things will actually get better. If someone is panicking around you, remind the person that there's a life after COVID-19. Remind the person that there are survivors, people that have survived this pandemic. And then it's really not the end of the world. Things, if you get it, will be fine. Everybody will be fine. There's just this thing about spreading positivity. And then combined with the coping strategies I already mentioned before, try to just incorporate them into your daily activities. There is no hard and fast rule. There is no guideline to follow to not be mentally stressed. We are all tired. We are all stressed. If anyone is telling you that they're happy, is anybody posting happy coronavirus or happy congratulations corona or something? Nobody is congratulating anybody, because everybody is tired. Everybody is stressed. Now, the only thing we can do is try to cope. Cope. This thing is here already. So the only thing you can do is to cope, live through it, live with it. So I think that's the only thing I have to say about that.
All right, thank you very much for that very wonderful response. Somebody's trying to ask a question, and I'm yet to get it.
Okay.
All right, so the person is trying to ask a question about mental health generally, not really as regards to COVID-19. So would you be open to answer the question, Nene?
Okay, what's the question?
Okay, at Ifachiku Agu, please, you can post your question now. The speaker will answer. Oh, okay. So apparently he wants to.
Yeah. I wanted to type something, but I figured that it would take me a little time to do that. So can I just speak and then ask the question immediately? Is that okay?
You can go ahead, sir.
Okay. I worked with children some time ago as a creative coordinator in a private school. And there is something that became really clear to me, especially now that I am trying to study more about children and teenagers. There are children who I would like to describe as people who are exceptionally smart, that whatever you try to, like, they are not within their contemporaries as regards to intellect and even how they connect dots. They ask intimidating questions, and that is to say they are just gifted naturally. And I remember there was a friend of mine who was a student of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and very brilliant. He was a poet who committed suicide. And he had several attempts to commit suicide, even when he was much younger. And I asked this question: children who are that smart, who I have, some of them that I have worked with closely, I know that they are very smart, and some of them get really suicidal. They do things, they try to question a lot of things, and they get so suicidal sometimes because when they do not find answers to what they are looking for. A typical example is just this one that I just mentioned about a student of UNN who committed suicide. And then when he committed suicide, he was like, he wanted to end the controversy. So I asked, because this kind of thing starts really very early in children, they start to show, signs of this. But as a parent and as a therapist working with them, you try as much as you can, but the questions you pose to them, the more you try to find what troubles them within, the more walls they bring. So it is really very, very difficult to tap into what is actually going on in their mind or whatever. So how do you, from tender age, try to curb children or curb teenagers especially, who face this controversy of life and then who wants to take their lives? How do you manage such situation?
Okay. Hi, fine, Chukwu Ago. So, I listened to your question, and basically, for intelligent children, there's a study, or there are a series of studies that show that there is a high correlation between educational attainment and suicidal ideation. Because, the cultural, how will I put it now? The belief that we have is that when somebody is intelligent, when somebody is smart, or when somebody shows exceptional brilliance, they should know better. They should not, be on the same, they should not think the same way that you feel like someone that is mentally, has mental issues will think. So there's just this pressure on them to be better, pressure on them to achieve more, pressure on them to do more at every point in time. So all these cumulate to them feeling alone or feeling, like harming themselves or doing things that are dangerous. Now, it all starts with mental awareness. This gospel of mental awareness that we keep preaching every time. Nobody is too young to, learn about this. As much as you can, it's always a great idea to, educate children, educate them, tell them to speak out when things are going wrong. Because if I said it before that, a lot of us, we don't talk about things that happen to us. And it starts from a very young age, when you are young. And then you tell your parents that, Mommy, I'm sad. And they'll say, sorry, have you eaten? Or Mommy, I'm sad. Is it because I took your pocket? They'll just ask, okay, something that is related to physical things. And then you just learn to not complain anymore, because by the time you tell them you're sad and they tell you to go and eat and sleep, that why are you complaining? You should just eat, you'll be fine. You just learn to keep everything in you, bottle everything up, because nobody is going to even explain why you're feeling sad. So all these things start from a very young age. So we need to understand that nobody is too young to be mentally aware. And then even when children are exceptionally gifted, or children are intelligent and all of that, anybody can be mentally unhealthy. Anybody can face mental challenge. Anybody can be mentally ill. Just like anybody can have a stroke. Anybody can, fall sick. Anybody can have diabetes. Just like that. Anybody can also, everybody, 1 in 4, I said it before, 1 in 4 people are shown to have a mental disorder at some point in life. So we should take children. Children are also human beings. They have emotions, they have feelings, and these children grow up to become humans. And then when you hear someone dies by suicide, there are a lot of factors that we have to take into consideration. What happened? Could it be, issues from the childhood? Could it be triggers that came up because this person is not, speaking out? So these things there's no one way to finding out the solution to these things. But what we are sure of is that with enough mental awareness, with enough avenues, media for people to actually speak out, and then with less pressure, less stigmatization, I think a lot of children, a lot of people would actually benefit from everything that we are trying to do. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I hope I did.
All right, thank you very, very much at Ene. And thank you everybody Oh, okay. So I don't know if we still have time, but I have another question that just came in now at Ene.
Okay,
Okay.
you mentioned adequate sleep as one of the contributory factors of optimal mental health. How about some
Yes.
of us that are currently nocturnal? I sleep at 2 a.m. every day. Earliest is 1 a.m. I have max of 4 hours of sleep. Is that okay?
Okay.
Well, it is not 4 hours of sleep is not okay because it's really, really below the recommended hours of sleep. You should try as much as possible to, sleep more. Find things that lull you to sleep. You said you're naturally nocturnal. I believe that if you maintain good sleep hygiene, I was talking to a friend of mine who is a doctor, and he was telling me about how important sleep hygiene is and how you can actually train yourself to maintain good sleep hygiene. Although this is not a mental process, but I think I can just share that knowledge. Now, um, when you maintain sleep hygiene, it's just like personal hygiene, take care of yourself, do all of that. But sleep hygiene means that when you have a specific time for bed, maybe okay, you want to start sleeping by 9 p.m. every day. You decide that okay, 9 p.m. comes that day. You make sure that your environment is looking like somebody that wants to sleep, looking like an environment of someone that wants to sleep. Sometimes you want to sleep and their music is blaring from the speakers, the windows are up, and everywhere is just like, it won't help you sleep. Now you can listen to soft music, make the room darker, eat before you want, like if you want to sleep by 9 p.m., you should have eaten at 7 p.m. you should have eaten, 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. you should have eaten. So these are just steps to helping you maintain good sleep hygiene. So by the time you go to bed, you want to sleep by 9 p.m., you're already in bed at 8:30 p.m., or you just create a routine that actually works. I know with work and school, it might not be easy, but we need to keep trying. These things don't just happen by magic. We need to keep trying. Try harder. I think that's what will work.
All right. Thank you very much for Thank you very much for a wonderful section, and then I hope everybody enjoyed the lecture. Okay, so I also want to thank everybody for joining us. Okay, is this just a statement? I was with a family that lost the father. Okay. Okay, at Mr. Olaide Olawu, are you trying to ask a question? Okay, so this just came in. So somebody is saying, I was with a family that lost their father. Please, after this question, we are not taking any more questions. I was with a family that lost their father. The last born was an undergrad at OAU. Despite consolation and encouragement, he committed suicide the following day. What could be a solution to help such a boy?
The boy that died by suicide.
Yes.
You want to help someone that already died by suicide?
No, I believe he's trying to say, what can you do to prevent such from happening?
Oh, okay, to prevent people from dying by suicide.
Yes, because he already lost the father. He was mourning, and then he committed suicide because he lost his father.
Oh, okay. The thing is this: at that point, there are so many triggers for him, so many things that were wrong, and he probably felt really bad at that point, and probably combined with a lot of other factors. When someone dies by suicide, there's really not one way to actually say, oh, this is the reason why this person died by suicide. There can be lots and lots and lots of factors. It just needs one trigger to happen. So my advice is, I said before, self-awareness. Whenever you feel some kind of way, reach out to people around you, reach out, speak out, don't even hide it, shout, contact, look for help, seek help immediately. Don't bottle it in, don't try to hide it, don't try. If you fall from somewhere now, would you go and hide yourself in your room and say, this thing will go away, Jare, my broken bone will heal itself? No, you don't do that. You quickly run to the hospital because you know that if you leave the broken bone for more time, it's going to, get worse. That's the same way we should handle mental health issues. When you feel bad, seek help. Look for the best avenue to help, to find help rather, look for help and then get help. Have a support system around you. This is for everybody. This is not just for this person. This is for everybody. Find someone to always, be on your side. Make sure that you make connections. Don't say, me, I'm alone now. I always stay on my own. No, it doesn't work that way. Find a way to connect with people. There's always someone out there for someone. There's always a way that you can connect to someone else. So don't say, I'm just on I always work alone. No, please don't work alone. Work with other people. And then try as much as possible to just be aware. Be mentally aware. Know when something is wrong. Because it's only when you're aware that you know that, this is not normal. This is not what I used to feel. This is not how I used to feel. So with organizations out there willing to help, I'm sure that we can all, try to stay mentally healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Ene, and thank you everybody for joining us once again. We really appreciate. We hope you enjoyed this section. We're looking forward to our next webinar. So thank you very much, Ene, and thank you also Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative for collaborating with us on this webinar. We really, really appreciate. Everyone at All For Us Charity says a very big thank you. So we'll be signing out now. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much.